You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network. I'm Nicholas Callis. These are your game recaps, standing updates, and league leaders from Wednesday, June the 10th, 2020. The Twins and Orioles played each other. 6-1 was the final score. The Orioles got their only run in the fifth inning, and the Twins, you see at the top of your screen there, they had a string of runs scored from the second to the sixth inning where they capped it off with a two-run inning. Rich Hill got his first win of the season in his first start, and Asher Wojciechowski got his second loss of the season. He's 6-2 now. The Royals and Yankees played each other, a game that went to extra innings. Each team scored a decent amount of runs in this game, and the Royals even out-hit the Yankees 11-7. But the Yankees walked it off in the 12th inning to win 4-3. Jonathan Holder got the win, and Tim Hill got the loss. AL East baseball between the Red Sox and the Rays. 5-3 was the final score. The Rays beat the Red Sox again. Brendan McKay got the win, Hector Velasquez got the loss, and Nick Anderson earned his 20th save of the year. The Red Sox scored first in this game, but then the Rays put up a three-spot in the sixth inning, followed by a run in the seventh and a run in the eighth. The Red Sox got two in the ninth, but failed to come back fully. The A's and Tigers played each other. 4-2 the final score of this game. Mike Fiers got the win on the mound against one of his former teams. Michael Fulmer got his first loss of the season in his first start of the year, and Liam Hendricks earned his 24th save. AL Central Baseball, the Indians wiped out the White Sox. 10-1 was the final score of this game, and the White Sox have gotten on a cold streak coming into June. Reynaldo Lopez got his third loss of the season in this game. The Seattle Mariners played the Toronto Blue Jays. 6-5 the final score of this game. The Mariners went into the ninth with a 5-4 lead, but then the Blue Jays tied it in the bottom of the ninth and walked it off in the bottom of the 10th. Wilmer Font got the win, and Brennan got the loss, his third of the year. The Marlins and Angels played each other in an interleague game, and 11-3 was the final score of this game. The Marlins came out on top. The Marlins started with early offense. They got 3 runs in the first inning, and the Angels were clawing back in the middle of the game. They got a run in the fifth and 2 runs in the seventh to tie the game, but then the Marlins put up a 5 spot in the eighth and just tacked on some runs for insurance in the ninth. 3 runs, 11-3 the final, giving them an 8-run cushion to win the ball game. Adam Conley got the win, and Noah Ramirez got the loss. AL West baseball in this one, also a battle of Texas. The Texas Rangers beat the Houston Astros. 10-7 was the final score of this game. The Astros were making a comeback in that bottom of the ninth inning, but in the top of the ninth, the Rangers put up 3 runs, which was important insurance for them and allowed them to win the game. Lance Lynn got the win, and Lance McCullers Jr. got the loss. NL East baseball between the Washington Nationals and the Atlanta Braves. 8-4 the final score, and the Nats ended up winning. There was a hefty amount of offense scored by both teams. See in the fourth and fifth innings. The Nationals got 3 in the top of the fourth. The Braves responded with a 3-run fourth of their own, but then the Nats put up 5 runs in the top of the fifth inning. The Braves only scored in the ninth again, and it was just 1 run. And they couldn't win this one. They lost by 4. Max Scherzer got the win, Mike Fultonavich got the loss, and Sean Doolittle earned his 24th save of the season. The Dodgers and Reds played each other. 8-3 was the final score of this game. Jimmy Nelson got the win out of the bullpen, and Pedro Strop got the loss. The Cubs and Phillies played each other. 4-0 the final score of this game. Terrell Cotton got the win, Nick Pivetta got the loss, and Craig Kimbrell earned his 23rd save of the year. The Cardinals and Mets played each other. 6-2 was the final score of this game. You see some ones scattered throughout the first half of this game. It was tied at 2 until the 8th inning when the Cardinals put up 2 runs in the 8th and tacked on some insurance in the 9th, another 2 runs, and they won by 4. Ryan Helsley got the win, and Justin Wilson got the loss. The Padres and Brewers played each other. 14-9 the final score. This was a game packed with offense. The Brewers scored 6 runs in the first inning. The Padres got a run in the first, but they were down 5 until the third inning when they scored 4 runs. But the Brewers put up some more. They put up 2 in the bottom of the third inning. Then the Padres struck with a 3-run fifth, a 1-run sixth, and a 4-run seventh inning, and the Brewers could not come back after that despite scoring a run in the seventh. The Padres put up a run in the eighth, and they won by 5 in this game. Matt Strahm got the win, and Brent Suter got the loss. The Diamondbacks and Rockies played each other. 7-4 the final score of this game. The Rockies came out on top. This game was also packed with offense. The Rockies got 12 hits as compared to the Diamondbacks getting 6, and the Rockies won by 3. The Diamondbacks scored first in the second inning. They got 2, but then the Rockies did them one better. They got 3 in the second inning. The Diamondbacks tied it up in the 4th inning. The Rockies took the lead in the 5th. They put up 2 in the 6th. The Diamondbacks put up 1 in the 8th, but so did the Rockies, and the Diamondbacks ultimately lost by 3. Kyle Freeland got the win, Alex Young got the loss, and Wade Davis earned his 14th save of the season. The Pirates and Giants played each other, and the Pirates came out on top 9-5, the final score of this game. The Pirates were catapulted ahead by a 5-run first inning, and they didn't give up the lead after that point. They continued to score in this game, though the Giants scored 5 runs of their own completely in this game. The Pirates were able to win by 4. Joe Musgrove got the win, Jeff Samardzija got the loss, and Keone Kela earned his 15th save of the year. Looking at standings now, starting in the American League East, the New York Yankees still lead. They're 41-27, and they're on a 3-game winning streak. They most recently beat the Royals. The Blue Jays are staying hot as well. The Blue Jays are on a 4-game winning streak. They've won 9 of their last 10 games. They're 38-30, and they're 3 games back of the Yankees. The Rays are 33-36. They're 8.5 games back. They've won 2 games in a row against the Red Sox. The Red Sox have lost 4 in a row, most recently to the Rays. They're 31-38, 10.5 games back. And the Orioles still at the bottom. They're 30-37. They're 10.5 games back of the Yankees. They've lost 5 games in a row and 8 of their last 10. In the American League Central, the Minnesota Twins still leading. They're 49-20. This is still the best record in the American League, and they're 1 away from being the first team in baseball with 50 wins. They're also on a 5-game winning streak, and they've won 9 of their last 10. The White Sox have fallen into a divot. They're 40-28. They got to 40 wins, but then started on a losing path. They've lost 5 games in a row. They've lost 8 of their last 10, and they're now 8.5 games back of the Twins for first place, even though the White Sox were the leader in the AL Central at the end of May. The Indians are in 3rd place. They're 38-30, 10.5 games back. They've won 2 in a row and 7 of their last 10. The Tigers are 27-40. They're 21 games back, and they lost today. And the Royals are 21-47. They're 27.5 games back of the Twins for first place. And the Royals have also lost 8 of their last 10 games. In the American League West, the Oakland Athletics still lead. They're 42-26. The Astros are keeping pace. They're 39-28. They're 2.5 games back. And the Angels are 30-37. They're 11.5 games back. They're on a 5-game losing streak. The Rangers beat the Astros today. They're 28-40, but 14 games back of the American League West lead. And the Mariners are 24-45, 18.5 games back. They've lost 5 in a row and 9 of their last 10. And here's the American League wildcard list. The White Sox have the top spot. They're 40-28, but they're on a 5-game losing streak. They're in jeopardy of losing this spot. The Astros lost today. That's why they didn't gain any ground. The Astros are still a half game back of that first wildcard spot. They're 39-28. Then you have the Blue Jays and the Indians, who are both 38-30, and they're both doing rather well recently. They're each a game and a half back of the Astros for that second wildcard spot. But if the White Sox and Astros don't keep their winning ways up, they might be in jeopardy of losing one or both of those spots. And these 4 teams at the top are the only teams with a winning percentage above 500. Every other team in the American League has a winning percentage below 500 and is at least 7 games back of the Astros for that second wildcard spot. In the National League East, the Washington Nationals are 40-27. They're still at the top. The Marlins are moving up now. They've gotten hot to start June. They've won 7 games in a row. They've won 8 of their last 10, and they're a game and a half back of the Nationals. The Braves are 35-33. They've gotten on a bit of a hot streak. They've won 6 of their last 10, though they lost today. They're 5.5 games back of the Nationals for first place. The Phillies have found themselves on a cold spell. The Phillies have lost 8 in a row and 9 of their last 10. They're 33-34, 7 games back of the Nationals. And the Mets are 28-40. They're 12.5 games back, and they've lost 8 of their last 10 games. In the National League Central, the theme continues with the Cardinals being the leaders, and the Cardinals are the only team in this division still with a winning percentage over 500. The Cubs have won 3 games in a row. They're 34-36. They're 3.5 games back. The Brewers are 5 games back. They're 31-36. The Reds 29-39, 7.5 games back. And the Pirates have won 2 in a row, but they've lost 7 of their last 10. They're 36-41, 10 games back, and still in last place. And in the National League West, the Los Angeles Dodgers still lead. They're 47-20. They have the second best record in all of Major League Baseball behind the Twins. They've won 4 games in a row and 8 of their last 10. The Padres have lost 7 of their last 10, though they won today. They're 38-31, and they're 10 games back. The Diamondbacks are 35-32. They're 12 games back. They've lost 2 games in a row. The Rockies are 29-38. They've won 2 in a row. They're 18 games back. And the Giants are still in last place. They've lost 4 games in a row, most recently to the Pirates. 26-41 record, 21 games back of the Dodgers for first place. And here are the National League wildcard standings. The Marlins have taken the top spot. They've passed the Padres. They're hot. They've won 7 in a row, which makes this no surprise. The Marlins are also contending now for the National League East lead, but as of today, they are the top spot in the National League wildcard standings. The Padres have the second spot, the second wildcard spot. They're 38-31. And the Diamondbacks trail the Padres by 2 games. They're 35-32. The Braves are 35-33, 2.5 games back. And every other team in the National League has a winning percentage under 500 and is at least 4 games back of the Padres for that second wildcard spot. Looking at league leaders now, starting with batting average leaders in the American League. Miguel Cabrera is at a .380. He leads. Carlos Santana second best with a .359, and Miguel Andujar third best with a .355. In the National League, Paul Goldschmidt has a .368. Jonathan Villar is at a .356, and David Dahl's at a .354. He rounds out the top 3. Hits leaders in the American League. Miguel Andujar, the first American League player this year to 100 hits. Miguel Cabrera 2 behind him with 98, and DJ LeMahieu in the top 3 with 94. In the National League, Jonathan Villar has 103 hits. Paul Goldschmidt second best, 11 behind Villar with 92, and Ronald Acuna Jr. rounds out the top 3 with 87. And bat leaders in the American League, Miguel Andujar is at 282, DJ LeMahieu has 280, and Whit Merrifield third best with 279. In the National League, Jonathan Villar is 289 at bats, Ozzie Albies at 272, and Javier Baez is at 257. Doubles leaders in the American League. Anthony Rendon has 25, Jose Abreu has 24, Miguel Andujar third best with 23. In the National League, Jonathan Villar is at 33 doubles, Christian Yelich is at 25, Nicholas Castellanos, Ketel Marte, and Javier Baez all tied for third best with 20. Triples leaders in the American League, Jose Altuve is up to 6. He still leads this category. Stevens Piscotty, Whit Merrifield, and Adalberto Mondesi all tied for second best with 4. In the National League, Jonathan Villar is at 8, Hunter Pence, Victor Robles, and Chris Bryant tied for second best with 5. Home run leaders in the American League, Justin Upton still at the top. He has 24. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. one behind him with 23. And then Josh Donaldson and Chris Davis, who each led this category earlier on in the season, are tied for third best with 22. In the National League, Ronald Acuna Jr. is still at the top with 26. Paul Goldschmidt's gotten on a hot streak, though. He's catching up to Acuna Jr. He's 4 behind him with 22. And Max Muncy, third best with 18. RBI leaders in the American League, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. still at the top. He's at 68. Chris Davis is 10 behind him with 58. And Josh Donaldson, third best with 57. In the National League, Paul Goldschmidt has 59 RBIs. Christian Yelich is at 53. And Cody Bellinger, third best with 52. Run scored leaders in the American League, J.D. Martinez is at 53. In the National League, Ronald Acuna Jr. leads with 60. Stolen base leaders in the AL, Adalberto Mondesi is at 14. D. Gordon and Malik Smith are tied for second best with 13, and they're both a part of the Seattle Mariners. In the National League, Starling Marte is at 26. Trey Turner has 24, and Jonathan Villar rounds out the top 3 with 19. Walks leaders in the American League, Alex Bregman has 44 walks. In the National League, Rhys Hoskins is at 48. On base percentage leaders in the AL, Miguel Cabrera is at a 446. He's the leader. Carlos Santana second best with a 437, and Michael Brantley rounds up the top 3 with a 429. In the National League, Paul Goldschmidt has a 467, Ronald Acuna Jr. second best with a 433, and Christian Yelich rounds out the top 3 with a 429. Slugging percentage leaders in the American League, Josh Donaldson has a 646, Chris Davis second best with a 637, Justin Upton top 3 with a 628. In the National League, Ronald Acuna Jr. leads with a 751. Paul Goldschmidt, his slugging percentage continues to rise. He's above 700, and by a bit, he's at a 716 slugging percentage, and Christian Yelich is third best with a 683. On base percentage plus slugging percentage leaders in the AL, Miguel Cabrera is at a 1.059. Trailed closely by Josh Donaldson is at a 1.057. And Carlos Santana third best with a 1.056. In the National League, Ronald Acuna Jr. has a 1.184. And he's being caught up to now by Paul Goldschmidt, who's 1 point behind him with a 1.183. And Christian Yelich is third best with a 1.112. Moving on to pitcher statistics, we have wins leaders in the American League. Kenta Maeda Still at the top, he's at 9 wins. Hyunjin Ryu and Jake Odorizzi tied for second best with 8 wins on the year. In the National League, Walker Buehler, his Major League leading 11 wins, also topped the NL. David Price, Jimmy Nelson, and Madison Bumgarner all tied for second best with 7. Losses leaders in the American League, we have 2 pitchers undefeated in the AL, Kenta Maeda and Mike Minor. And in the National League, nobody's undefeated, but the pitchers with the least amount of losses are Walker Buehler and Carlos Martinez. They're each at 1. Saves leaders in the American League, Brad Hand has 25, Liam Hendricks is at 24, and Roberto Osuna rounds out the top 3 with 22. In the National League, Giovanni Gallegos is at 26, and there are 2 tied for second best. Sean Doolittle and Kenley Jansen each have 24. ERA leaders in the American League, Kenta Maeda is at a 2.23, Mike Minor's at a 2.32, and Zach Plezak's at a 2.46. In the National League, Walker Buehler still has an ERA under 2. He's at a 1.69. Mike Soroka's second best with a 2.25, and Carlos Martinez third best with a 2.45. Home runs allowed among American League pitchers, Mike Minor is allowed the least with 5. In the National League, Garrett Richards is allowed the least with 4. Shutout leaders in the American League, Garrett Cole and Masahiro Tanaka have each pitched 3 complete game shutouts. Jake Odorizzi is third best on this list with 2. In the National League, Jacob deGrom has thrown 3 complete game shutouts. Zach Wheeler, Merrill Kelly, and Walker Buehler each have 2 complete game shutouts. They're all tied for second best. Strikeout leaders in the American League, Garrett Cole has 121 strikeouts. Lucas Giolito's at 106. And Jake Odorizzi's third best with 102. In the National League, Clayton Kershaw's at 114, Steven Strasburg's at 113, and Max Scherzer is third best with 103. Complete games thrown among American League pitchers, Garrett Cole and Masahiro Tanaka have each thrown 3 complete games. Aaron Savali and Jake Odorizzi tied for third best with 2 complete games thrown this year. In the National League, Jacob deGrom and Zach Wheeler have each completed 3 games. Aaron Nola, Merrill Kelly, and Walker Buehler are all tied for third best with 2. Innings pitched leaders in the American League, Hyunjin Ryu has 95. In the National League, Clayton Kershaw has recorded 98 1/3 innings pitched. Walks allowed among American League pitchers, Carlos Carrasco has walked 12 batters, the least amount in the AL. In the National League, Brett Anderson's at the top with 16 walks allowed on the year. Whip leaders in the American League, Masahiro Tanaka has a .96 whip, Jake Odorizzi's at a .98, and Zach Plezak's third best with a 103. In the National League, Clayton Kershaw has a 101, as does Mike Soroka, and Aaron Nola rounds out the top 3 with a 104. Pitching WAR leaders in the American League, Jake Odorizzi has a 2.4, as does Garrett Cole. Then you have Shane Bieber and Corey Kluber, each with a 2.2. They make up the top 4. In the National League, Clayton Kershaw's at a 2.4, Steven Strasburg's at a 2.3, as is Jacob deGrom, Yu Darvish, and Walker Buehler. They make up the top 5 on this list. Batting WAR leaders in the AL, Marcus Semion's getting close to 5. He's at a 4.9. DJ LeMahieu second best with a 4.1. And Matt Chapman rounds out the top 3 with a 4.0. In the National League, Ronald Acuna Jr. continues to rise. He's at a 5.5. Christian Yelich is second best with a 4.7. And Paul Goldschmidt, third best with a 4.4. These have been your game recaps, standing updates, and league leaders from Wednesday, June the 10th, 2020. I'm Nicholas Callis. You've been watching Major League Baseball's Virtual Network.